Hello everyone, welcome on Facebook Live, Spreaker.com, K-E-V-O-L-E, Soundcloud.com, K-E-V-O-L-E. Follow me, of course, on Twitter, K-E-V-O-L-E, and more, and more. And YouTube, of course, Kevin Olenick as well. Very interesting thing has happened the last couple of days here. Interesting week again in Alberta politics. It's always a fascinating time in Alberta politics, but specifically this week it became a bit more interesting as a couple of more people have entered into the Alberta Party leadership race. The one that everyone was wondering what was happening with the Alberta Party leadership race. Well, two more entrants entered this week, and one of them, of course, if you remember, was already two, so there's now four in this. One of them is, of course, a U of C student by the name of Jacob Huffman. He is an interesting character. Another is a Calgary energy lawyer, Kara Levis. This week, Rick Fraser, the MLA for Calgary Southeast, entered the race, as well as former Edmonton Mayor Stephen Mandel. Now, what raised some eyebrows is Stephen Mandel is 73 years old. And he got a lot of comments about being, quote unquote, too old because we need younger, fresher minds. Like Jacob Huffman, apparently, who is petitioning right now actually ran a petition to be the Alberta Liberal Party leader and run in that race, but didn't want to pay the $7,000 that was required because it was a sense of an attack on the poor. Although this has been a tradition for people that have been running for years. But Jacob Huffman, the young man, he knows better. Anyway, I'm going to read a little bit from a column from David Klimahenka, who is a pretty well-respected columnist, writes for AlbertaPolitics.ca. I want to read this. And just to go on with this. At 72, Mr. Mandel is literally as old as you can possibly be and still be officially called a baby boomer. If you don't believe me, you can look it up. He'll be almost 74 by the time the next Alberta provincial election is likely to roll around. That would make him measurably older than was Ronald Reagan when first elected president of the United States, and we all know how that turned out. It is neither churlish nor ageist to suggest that this is a legitimate concern to voters. No matter what you've read lately, 70 is not just quote-unquote middle age, and 72 isn't the new 40. Full disclosure, the author of these comments will be within days be 66. Quote from Klimahenka. Voters will take this into consideration and not lightly. Now, let's hold on here a moment because I would like to kind of remind some people of some things. Bernie Sanders was 75, and he actually attracted quite a bit of the millennial voters, like it or not. Hillary Clinton was 70. Is turning 70 when she ran, late 60s, early 70s. The Orange Fool, did I editorialize? The Orange Fool, Donald Trump, is 71. And they are running. And let's look at some other people that were in our mainstream voices here that we hear from on a regular basis. Don Cherry is almost 84 years old. Clint Eastwood is 87, but he was directing into his 80s. I don't think he's doing a lot right now. And then there's a 106-year-old cyclist by the name of Robert Marchand. He actually just recently announced his retirement this week. He's breaking records at 160 years old at the Velodrome as recently as last year, but this weekend he announced his retirement. Now, you may or may not like these people. That's totally up to you. I'm not here to talk about their political positions so much. It's not the main point of this. But the point is that we seem to know more than all, that they know more than all of us of how old they are. They've lived with this fact and what they're dealing with. They obviously feel that they can do something and have an opportunity to contribute, or they wouldn't do it. They feel good. They feel healthy enough to go in. It give them a sense of life. Actually, most of them generally look, the fool notwithstanding, they generally look good and perhaps offer something that others can't. And it's not that I'm anti-youth, by the way, because as much as there's some silliness from people like Huffman and YouTube stars like Jacob and Logan Paul, there are some really important youth voices out there, and we do need them. And let's not discount that. But this is something that kind of personally, hearing this kind of language actually bugged me, because I'm a person that changed careers a bit later in life. it was a big risk for moving from a stable job to try to pursue some of this broadcast dream, move out to Vancouver a little bit later in life. I'm not the only one actually in my class. There was 2 other people that did that as well. But I am who I am. I sometimes wonder if I'm too old. I wonder if I'm too old. That's a question that crosses in my mind, that I have in my head. But I am who I am. And it makes me what I can contribute. And who I am makes me what I want to contribute, or even maybe miss in some cases. But that's why we have community and support and people around us. And that's really the same thing with people like Mandel, Stephen Mandel. He is who he is. He did a lot for the city of Edmonton. You can maybe argue or debate whatever that is, good thing or bad thing. I didn't live in Edmonton. I don't personally know, but there are people that do. But he does have a valuable voice, and I think he can contribute something. He also has a team around him of many different age, diverse ideas, and they will give him ideas. So let's not discount him because of his age. Let's give him a chance. And maybe let's just agree that we do actually need a balance of youth and the power of wisdom and people that are a little bit older to contribute better in this society. And let him and other people in his situation contribute how they can, and forget the fact that we need to bring up his age. Because ultimately, it's not going to be, maybe his age is going to be part of this, but I think people are going to be looking at his policies more than anything else to see if he's going to be a good fit. So that's what I had to say about that. We'll quickly go through comments before we go. I'm just going to pull this up here from a different thing. Bear with me here as I do this. Nothing really. Okay, I'm not really going to comment, but it's not really about the NDP or parasites, whatever. Yes, and that they did apologize. Yes, there was a tweet from the NDP, and I know about this, that unfortunately was really insulting to Stephen Mandel and his family, who lost his daughter to cancer. They did apologize. It was not a good tweet. I think everybody recognized that. We can all agree to that. But are we discounting someone because of their age, or do they actually have something to contribute? Let me know. Facebook Live. You can comment on the Facebook video. Follow me on Twitter at KBULE. Subscribe to the podcast at Spreaker.com. You can follow there. Subscribe on YouTube as well. Soundcloud.com, KBULE. We're going to get a little bit more fancier with these podcasts and audios next week. And hope you have a great rest of your weekend. And we will talk soon. Bye for now.